Rev up your engines! Lately, it's come to my attention that a bunch of people, especially on YouTube, are saying that, oh, Scotty's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know anything about electric cars. He's always bashing them, paid by Toyota, and on and on and on. So I want to set the record straight. Numero uno, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I don't do sponsored videos. I try things out that people send me, like these Chinese electric bicycles. They send them, and I try them out. If they're good, I say they're good. If they're bad, if you've seen some of my bad ones, I'll say, whew, some of these things are just a pile of crap. Like this broken Coswheel one that's sitting in the back. It was supposed to be real fast and great. It didn't even last 5 miles before the stupid thing broke. Don't get suckered into buying these things. Let me try them out first. If that lawnmower would have worked, would have lasted a long time, hey, I'd give up with my John Deere here. But considering that the John Deere actually works, cost about the same price as that stupid little electric toy, right? I'll continue to use this because it takes a lot of energy to spin those blades to mow your lawn, right? And it's the same thing with cars. It takes a tremendous amount of electricity to push a car along. Even a little thing like our Matrix. A lot of energy. The battery in a Cybertruck weighs about 1,600 pounds. Tremendous amount of weight. Very expensive batteries. Take a long time to charge. At least as they stand today, maybe there'll be some radical transformation, who knows. They always promise stuff, but just like Elon Musk promising stuff, don't believe his promises. Believe it when the rubber hits the road and you see what actually is out there. These electric motorcycles, they have various types. My wife loves her folding one because it fits in the car. It has 2 batteries. You can get off-road ones like this that only get boost when you pedal them. You can get screamers like this Rav that has 2 batteries and can go over 42 miles an hour. And they're not all that expensive. Now, you notice, the companies give me these bikes to try out. Well, if you've watched my videos, I test them out honestly, right? I like these. The one in the garage is a piece of crap, but the companies at least sent me them. I have challenged every car company in the world to send me an electric car for like 6 months to actually try it out. I have the equipment to work on them, but I shouldn't have to work on them if they're new, of course. But I check out used ones all the time for customers that are thinking about buying a used electric car. But no company has offered to send me one. The only ones I can make videos with are the ones that customers have and bring me. Sometimes I do videos to help charities out, and they'll bring me an electric car to use in my videos. I thank them for that. Then people can see what's out there. But the companies won't send them. They got lots of them lying around. But you know, they obviously don't stand behind the things. They're afraid of sending me one. And I laugh at the people that say, oh, Scotty, he's just paid for by Toyota. Hey, I own Toyotas. I bought them all. They never gave me anything. Once they gave me 4 weeks of cars, 1 car every week, to show what the new ones are like. But then they stopped doing it because they didn't like what I said. Because I will say what's out there. I'm honest about it. I learned that from my grandfather, mechanic. Hey, he worked at my father's gas station in Lewiston, New York. And my father was always mad at me. He says, Dad, you got to charge him more money. We have overhead. We got to pay for this. He just liked helping people out. And so do I. And that's one of the reasons that I warn people about electric cars. I get such a laugh because I get people making videos and saying, oh, what does Scotty know? I love my electric car, blah, blah, blah. What do these people know about electric cars, right? I've got the equipment to work on them. I've got the data system to get information to work on them. I use All Data. It's an excellent company, right? But I pay them $1,500 a year to use their information system. There are a zillion reasons I tell people I wouldn't advise buying an electric car, but mainly it comes down to one big thing, and that's planned obsolescence. My neighbor behind me had a friend. His Tesla hit a curb when it was on autopilot, broke the wheel, motor in the front broke. It dented the battery on the bottom of the car. They totaled the car, even though it was a beautiful car and only had 30,000 miles on it. Went to the junkyard. This is planned obsolescence, and in the long run, the people that buy them will end up paying for this planned obsolescence. They build them so they can build them as cheaply as possible. Tesla, they have their giant mega press where they press this giant aluminum piece for a large part of the car. They'd say, oh, it used to have, 36 different pieces. Now it's only got 1. Look, it's better for production. Guess what happens when that 1 piece breaks? Again, they will total the car because the entire car's bolted on there and it is aluminum. Can't really fix aluminum. For years, Audi was one of the early ones to make aluminum framed cars. They get in a wreck and that frame gets broken, they go to the junkyard. You can't fix them. People love selling you something that's going to break, and then you got another one when it breaks. Now, I always laugh because people say, oh, Scotty, he hates electric cars. I don't hate anything. I tell people the truth about technologies. If you want the truth about any kind of car repair, probably the last place you want to take your car to get it fixed, if you're paying for it, is the dealer. They have overheads of millions. They charge money up the wazoo. So a lot of people do like fixing their own cars. Now, fixing an electric bike's no big deal. Here's the battery here and another one here. They snap right off. It's a nothing job. Now, then again, try to find a good price for the electric batteries. Good luck, because the Chinese make the whole bicycles, and replacement parts generally either unavailable or super expensive. Sometimes the batteries cost almost as much as the whole bike. But if you have an electric car, that battery can weigh 1,500 pounds or more. One, you would have to have a 4-post lift to pick your vehicle up in the air. Then you have to have at least a 2-ton, if not more, bed jack that you can jack up under the vehicle, then disconnect the battery to drop the battery down to work on it, because they're all under the car. And in some of them, the battery is heated and cooled by the heat pump system, so you got to disconnect the refrigerant lines. It is a gigantic pain in the butt to do. You're not going to be doing these things yourself at home. So many repairs, you're going to have to take it to a dealer, or if you can find anybody who even knows how to work on electric cars. Take Ford, for example. Originally, they said, oh, all our dealers, if you want to sell our electric cars, you got to put in millions of infrastructure, train your guys, get tools, get charging systems right. So over a third of the dealers said, we don't want to do that. Well, then you could easily have bought the electric vehicle at a Ford dealer that didn't have the equipment, mechanics to work on them. Then when it breaks, who's going to fix it? If you live in the real world, unlike these fantasy people that think these electric magic battery cars are going to save us all, which is an illusion, but it's a belief, so they're going to stick to it. And unlike regular gasoline or diesel cars that have been around forever, where there's a gigantic aftermarket for parts. So if the dealer wants $500 for an alternator, you can find one for $150 somewhere else. On electric cars, finding parts for them is a completely different ball game. Often you have to go to the dealer. Often the dealer won't even have that part, because companies like Tesla, they're ramping up to sell as many cars as they can, build them and sell them. They don't really make that many spare parts. I've seen people waiting 3 months on a Tesla for parts because they didn't have the parts. They had to make the parts. Most of the parts are building new cars so the stock can go up, so Elon can get even richer. So you have to understand the whole infrastructure. And speaking of infrastructure, if you didn't know, and a lot of people don't know, car dealerships don't really own the cars they're selling. They get a loan from a bank for whatever, 40 million bucks, whatever it is, and then they have to pay every month on every car on the lot that they have. So just like you, they got a monthly payment. I have friends that work at many different dealerships, and almost every single one says, we keep telling the manufacturers, please do not send us any more electric cars. We can't sell them. Because if they got an electric car, as I saw a Chevy electric pickup, been sitting there for a year, they had to pay 12 monthly payments. They're losing money on the deal. They don't want to be stuck with these things. And that's what makes me laugh my rear end off when I read about Mary Barra, the CEO of GM, saying, well, this year, 2024, we're going to build and wholesale 200,000 electric cars, right? It was supposed to be 400,000, but they've cut that in half, which is a big cut, right? But we're going to build and wholesale 200,000 cars. You know why she said wholesale? Because that means they built them and sent them to the dealerships. It's out of their hands. Now the dealership has to sell them. Yet the guys I know who work at dealerships tell me, we keep telling them, please don't send us any more of these electric cars. Nobody wants to buy them. So you got all these people on the top saying, electric, gotta buy. It's great, it's great, it's great. But people don't want to buy them. And let's face the facts. These are electrician's gloves. They're rated at 22,000 volts DC. That tells you how dangerous it is to work on them. A lot of guys wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. And the ones that do, they're going to charge an awful lot of money working on those cars. So again, I challenge the electric car manufacturers. Send me one for 6 months or so. Year would be better for a good test. I'll honestly test them out. Hey, I've got the electric charging infrastructure. I've got a whole bunch of them, actually. But let's just say I'm not holding my breath, waiting for them to send me electric vehicles, probably afraid of what I'm going to say. Hey, I said good things about electric Chinese bicycles. I said bad things. It depends whether they're well made or not. What I really can't understand is this belief in electric cars. It's become almost a religion among some of these people. And, oh, for sure, this is the way it's going to go. And it's told by people who either are just into believing in just about anything, they're talked into it, or more sinister, if you see a lot of people that make videos about them, if you look, their links are selling electric cars or car batteries or solar panels or something, they're trying to make money doing it. So, of course, they're all going to be for it. Just like Shawn Fain, president of the UAW. Right now they're mad at Stellantis because they're not opening up this factory that's supposed to make electric batteries. And then Shawn Fain says, oh, I don't want to support Trump because Trump says he's going to stop all this government subsidizing of electric vehicles. Of course, Shawn Fain is going to like that because subsidizing the manufacture of vehicles puts money in the factory workers' pockets. Let's face the facts. They're not popular. They're not selling like hotcakes. They're not going to make money on their own, so it has to be pushed by government nonsense. And then anybody who's on the gravy train, they're all going to say, oh yeah, oh, that's a savior, electric cars. You can't stop it, you can't stop it, you got to keep them going. There comes a time when people should sit down and say, hey, maybe it wasn't such a hot idea. Look at Shell. They built some hydrogen gas stations for the Toyota Mirai hydrogen electric fuel cell cars in California, and they shut them all down. They saw it wasn't economically viable. And if you're planning on making millions and millions of these electric cars, and people decide they don't want to buy them, what are you going to do with them? They're just, oh yes, it's going to save us all. It's going to do. No, the technology is not at that level yet. Maybe it will be. Toyota claims in a couple of years they're going to have solid state batteries that are going to be game changers. But still, people are not going to invest in an infrastructure and building it unless they're going to make money. Would you build an electric charging station if you can't make much of a profit on it? Of course you wouldn't. I travel a lot. When I look, I see empty charging stations. Normally nobody's at them. Maybe one person is at them. Or there just aren't any, and it's a electric desert when you're driving your electric car. Hey, Americans are mobile people. And if you take that mobility and make it that, well, you got to sit there for an hour charging it, and if there's 5 people in front of you, maybe you're going to be waiting 5 hours. Who knows? Americans aren't going to accept that, right? The government may have these willy-nilly ideas, and of course everything they get involved in, they generally screw up anyways. If it's something that doesn't fit what people want, guess what? People aren't going to buy them. Now, of course, the manufacturers would love to push them because of the planned obsolescence, like I've been talking about. The level of complexity of these electronic cars would make your head spin. That's what's so funny. People say, well, a gasoline motor and a transmission, very complex. We just have an electric car, battery and a motor. Yeah, well, you get into the complexity of those things. That isn't simplicity, baby. That's more complexity. And it's electronic complexity that they're all tied in together. If you've ever fixed anything electronically, when you're done, you pray, gee, I hope there isn't something else wrong further down the line that's going to wreck the part I just replaced. Now, I gotta say, I love electric bikes as toys, right? But electric cars as serious transportation, hey, they got a long way to go before the vast majority of Americans are going to shell out that kind of money for an unproven technology that is less convenient for themselves. There are so many cars out there that the engines and transmissions went out. You could convert them. You could convert that Toyota Matrix. It runs fine, so I wouldn't, but if everything broke on it, you could convert it to an electric car. They could make kits that you would bolt in. Right? It's got a big trunk. You put battery in the trunk. There's a lot of space. Right? But no, they don't talk about that because they want to sell you brand new $60, $80, $120, $200,000 electric cars. They don't want to sell you a kit. In Europe, they have kits that are like €6,000-7,000. You can turn Honda into a electric car. They even have them such that the front drive shafts of the Honda snap right in. You don't even have to change the drive shafts. They snap in. And that could easily be done, but then there isn't the money of selling you a whole car and all that shebang, right? So it has nothing to do with saving the planet. All it has to do with is making more money, trying to sell higher levels of planned obsolescence. And if you want to buy one, go right ahead. It's your money. You can do whatever you want. I'm just warning you about the reality of these things. And I, for one, hate seeing people getting ripped off. I'm just like my grandfather. I hate seeing people getting ripped off. And I see if they start buying the stuff, there are so many rip-off things that are going on that your money is going to go down the toilet fast. And you might be like the people who bought the Fisker Oceans. Well, the company's bankrupt. Good luck getting your car fixed, getting warranty work done, la-da-da. Well, we're gone. Bye. I'm just trying to help people out here. If you don't want to listen to me, I don't care. I'm just trying to help people. And if you do listen, you want to save your money, money's tight, right? I wouldn't advise going out and buying one of these things anytime soon. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.